Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Kohr Racing Network. Tonight, the final regular season race here for the YESCAR Truck Series, and it's going to determine our final spot in the playoffs. Come in here tonight with 9 spots already locked in, only 1 spot available. We'll get that here in a moment, but the Las Vegas Motor Speedway is going to be our venue here tonight, and this is a beautiful facility out here in the desert. It is going to be fast out here. It's going to be treated just about like a super speedway. It's going to be flat out around this thing, and it's going to be a little hot in the desert here as well. Marlon, we're joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, somebody turned on the thermostat.
Yeah, right. Well, it's hot out here. I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas or not, but it gets scorching out there. Hot temperatures, a lot on the line here. Like you said, there's 1 spot left to make the playoffs here. And really, it's kind of down to 2 drivers, plus if anybody outside of that gets a win, I mean, they're in. So a lot to unfold here in the last race of the regular season to round out that top 10 for the 4-week playoffs. So excited to see this race and watch these guys get around here and see if they can manage the tires here and manage the other trucks on the track and see who can get that last spot here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's hard enough when you're out here, you know, all the pressure that's on the line just to have a good finish. But now you got those playoffs looming coming up next week already. And again, like you said, it's going to be Matthew Hott and
Tyler Bryan.
Also, yeah, Tyler Bryan are going to be the 2 guys that are going to be going at it for that final spot. But winning, you're in, and that means a whole lot. I mean, you could just be coming in here into the series and all of a sudden you grab a win, you're in the playoffs, and both of those drivers are going to be on the outside looking in. So, I mean, what do you do out here? I mean, you got to go out here and you got to just compete as much as you can. I mean, take a look at the standings coming in here tonight, and if they pop up, there we go. You see it. The 9 guys already locked in: Tyler Helzel, Jonathan Tuckness, Chris Gutierrez, Francisco Villarreal, David Duke, Zach Mayhew all getting in via the win. Jeff Byers, Maxwell Shade, Christopher Melton all locked in via points. But then that last spot right there, Matthew Hott has it right now. It was 11 coming in here tonight, but Hott putting it on the outside of the front row is going to give him another 2 bonus points. So he technically has a 13-point lead to start this race. And then Tyler Bryan is looking to make that up, but it's going to be a big feat. These guys have some bonus points that they have to play with. It's only the top 10 that get points, but they have 5 bonus points for a clean race. You got 1 bonus point for a lap led as well, so it's still mathematically in it. And either way, a win and you're in. And you see these 9 guys that are locked in. They don't have anything to worry about. They can just go hard and go for a win here tonight. But those last 2 right there, they're battling on points. But anybody can come out of the woodwork here and grab a win and knock both of those guys out of here. And we got them all keyed up. We got these drivers ready to go. The qualifying is over. The warm-up is over. Let's take a look at the results from qualifying here tonight. And it's going to be Big Duke on the pole with a 30.932. Matthew Hott, Tuckles, Keith says yes, a good qualifying effort there. And Scott Kilroy, the top 5. Joshua DeLaha, Chris Melton, Cody Brewer, Tyler Bryan, Maxwell Shade, your top 10. Then you got Kyle Wilson, Kevin Martin, Tyler Helzel, Robert Knox, Riley Romeo, James Wagoner, Paul Lawson, Austin Smith, Joshua Laughlin, ZM Racing for the top 20, and then Scott Boyer, Michael Funkhauser Jr., and Francisco Villarreal rounding out the 23 car field for tonight's race. But you take a look at that top 10, and we got a few of the guys that have already gotten the wins. Those guys are locked in with those yellow numbers on the line there, and we got those 2 guys that are battling for that final spot for the playoffs with Matthew Hott and Tyler Bryan. Those guys are the green numbers that you see on the boards, and certainly keep an eye on them for sure. And mainly Matthew Hott. I mean, Tyler Bryan's going to need some help. He can get out here. If he gets a win, obviously he locks himself in regardless, but if he doesn't get the win, he can still finish up there with a decent amount of points if he has a clean race. But ultimately, I mean, Matthew Hott, if he was smart here, could play the long game and just go out there and try and run a clean race, get those 5 bonus points, and that would, albeit a win, would lock him into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, a lot unfolding here at the last race of this regular season. I mean, we still have the regular season championship up for grabs too. I mean, it's Tyler, has the lead over Jonathan Tuckness of 9 points. So the regular season championship's still up for grabs as well. So we got that battle going on, and then obviously the last spot in the playoffs. So yeah, some varying strategies going to play here tonight. I mean, what do you do if you're the 17? What do you do if you're the 12? Obviously, you're the 12. You kind of just you got to throw caution to the wind and then go win this race, right? I mean, that's the only thing that you can control, and you got to go get it.
Well, we're going to go get it here. We're going to go 70 laps here tonight. The pace truck is in. It's in the hands of Barney to get this thing under green, and we are racing at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Already some dodging around right there, trying to look for a position. A little bit of a slow start on that outside line, but the inside line, Big Duke in the lead, but already Ituckle is looking to find a way around.
Yeah, Big Duke able to get that pole, get that Desert Rose Bowl pole award, and get himself out there and kind of build some momentum as we head to the playoffs here and see if he can't come away with the second win on the regular season here.
Well, that's a big thing to do. Speaking of big bobble there. It's big to carry some of those bonus points into the playoffs, and a huge incident in the back there. And we'll take a look at that involved.
76 was involved. I don't know who was behind him there.
Might have been, yeah, I know Robert Knox was involved, so we'll take a look back here and see what exactly happened. A little bit slow coming off the corner, and he's about to be in a swarm right there.
Oh, yeah.
Gets hooked into the wall. Hard impact there for the 76 as he gets turned into the wall by Cody Brewer. A couple of drivers taking to the infield to avoid this. I know James Wagner had a bit of a slide there and some damage to the front there of the 22 of ZM Racing. The 4 of Tyler Helzel also going through the infield there a little bit and blinking out as well. But that's going to bring us under early caution. He may have got a little bit of damage himself.
He may have some front end damage. Maybe not.
Maybe a little bit roughed up there on the front right. I can't tell if that's a paint scheme or if it's a truck actually roughed up. We'll see it come by the camera here, and it looks like it's actually pretty clean there for the 4. But he did have to take through the grass, but ZM Racing, that 22 definitely roughed up a little bit on the front end, but nothing like the 76 Robert Knox getting into the wall pretty hard. But quite a few drivers coming into the pits, pretty much the back half of the field, deciding to come in at this time by. Joe, the fuel mileage, what are we looking at here tonight?
Well, we're getting some reports from pit road. It's going to be about 19 to 23 laps, so the 76 smoking there. So we're talking multiple stops here tonight, and I mean, tires probably every time, right? I mean, with these track temperatures and the way these trucks just kind of hang out wide open, I mean, we have pretty good wind here as well.
You see the ambient temperature.
The wind makes that much of a difference, but in some of these races, it makes quite a bit of difference, especially when it gets up to 20 miles an hour. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to make the
That's some of the fastest wind that I've seen actually, and iRacing is up over 20 miles an hour. I mean, you see the ambient temperature, they're only 79, but the track temperature started at over 110 degrees. I think it was at 113 at its max. Coming down just a little bit. It's partly cloudy, so I'm sure the clouds are going to help maybe bring it down a little bit, but still 110 degrees is the track temperature here, and it's going to make it a little bit greasy out there. So we'll see how these drivers handle it. I mean, that incident right there, it just seemed like Robert Knox maybe was a little loose coming off the corner, but either way he had a checkup coming off and just kind of caught in a hornet's nest there for sure, and the one of Cody Brewer ends up getting him into the wall. But under caution here for the first time, Big Duke on the top of the boards right now. Ituckle's in second. Scott Gilroy, one of those drivers that can play spoiler, in at third place. Matthew Hodge, one of the Bubble Boys right there, in fourth. Chris Melton in fifth. The other Bubble Boy, Tyler Bryan, in sixth. Kevin Martin, Joshua DeLaha, Kyle Wilson, and Tyler Helzel for your top 10.
Yeah, that's gonna. I mean, like you mentioned in the pre-race there. I mean, that could throw a real monkey wrench into all these. Yeah, well, most of these guys' plans here. You know, Matthew Hott and Tyler Bryan. I mean, Scott Gilroy sitting there in third. He could be ultimate spoiler here tonight and lock himself in and say goodbye to the 17 and 12's efforts here and lock himself in. And he's got a shot at the championship this season. So a lot of going on here tonight.
Well, it's again, we're not at Dega, we're not at Daytona, but this is, with these trucks, Vegas is going to run like a super speedway, so we could see these drivers be real close to each other constantly all night, which means the big one here at Vegas could be right around the corner, and you can't get caught up into it, especially if you're one of those guys trying to make the playoffs. But it's really where that 17, Matthew Hott, again, he could stay out of the entire race here and just finish with a clean race, get those 5 bonus points, and points-wise, he'll be locked in. But if any driver that is not already locked in that grabs a win, he's outside looking in, and his season is not over, but he's out of the playoffs. So it's tough. You can't just bow out of it here. You almost got to play spoiler yourself to make sure one of the spoilers doesn't spoil you.
Yeah, it's just a really unique situation that the 17's in here tonight.
Back under green here, Big Duke, good jump here, but Ituckle's tucked right up behind and looking for a way around, going into turn at number 3, goes to the high side here, is the 94. Trying a bit of a crossover through the corner, high side to the low side, looking the inside, but door gets slammed shut. Big Duke says, no, you're gonna have to work around the high side here to get around me, and that's right what Tuckness is trying to do right now. Sends it in there, gets right up on the side of that truck and tries to get the 70s, or the 94, I'm sorry, I was right, the 78. A little bit loose, going through the corner, but right behind Scott Gilroy, looking to try and get around Matthew Hott. And this is a battle that Hott kind of just, he needs to be there. Unfortunately, he needs to be able to race up here and keep these non-winners, these non-locked-in guys behind him, but not being able to do so right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to be in the hornet's nest all night and kind of, you know, control his own destiny, in this race as well. So he's got to be up there just in case something happens and he gets in a situation where he needs to defend somebody off. Like the 99, like the 69/8, it looks like.
I mean, you talk about wanting to have a clean race here tonight. Man, he's got nowhere to breathe right now. He is right up behind Big Duke. He's got the 69 right behind him as well. And then the 52 on the outside. And what a save there for the 17. And now here comes Tyler Bryan to the inside, 3 wide down the backstretch as Tyler Helzel getting into the mix. And now here comes the 11 as well of Joshua DeLaha. Man, it is 70 laps, not just 17, right?
Yeah, don't tell them that to these boys. It's the last race of the regular season. It's every lap could be the last. The 76 is back up here in the mix now.
And you got
This is going to be a fun one here to that car. This is going to be down to the last lap, the last turn.
You can't really blame the 4 of Tyler Helzel getting up there and making a 3 wide to get up there, because he sees his regular season championship contender was leading the race. We got a spoiler in the lead right now. Scott Gilroy into the lead, trying to walk away from the field right now, doing a great job. And man, I mean, I know it's way early here. It's only on lap number 11, but you got Scott Gilroy in first. You got Kevin Martin, who showed plenty of speed in practice in it's a 69 truck on the track, the 8 on the time and scoring, but 3 wide. A little bit of a bump there to Tuckness. Slides him up the track, but they're all going to save it. And man, it is feisty out here in Vegas.
Yeah, it is. These boys they feel it. You can feel it on the track right now. What's on the line here?
There's a little bit of tension. We thought the track was hot.
Yeah. There's a lot of tension and a lot on the line here tonight. I mean, you got playoff wins, playoff opportunities on the line. You got regular season championship on the line. You got money on the line, race win on the line. I mean, there's battles everywhere here tonight.
You're tuned in the right place here with CRN, and thank you for tuning in as well. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything at CRN as the Hopper. We just had a fantastic race with CSRL and the GT3 series with nose to tail battling all the way through the race, and we got some more battling out here in the desert with the YESCAR Truck Series. Position for the playoff on the line. As Joe said, race win on the line, regular season championship on the line. There's a lot on the line. Who's going to let the money ride out here in Vegas is the question right now. Tupples is in the lead. Scott Gilroy, Kevin Martin now second and third again. Kevin Martin in that 69 truck that is the number 8 on the timing and scoring, but Gilroy not giving it up on that outside, and you see Martin now jumping to the outside with that 52 of Chris Melton getting in the mix as well.
Yeah, 69 jumped to the outside there to try to give a little bit of a push and run to the 99. And now 99's going to go to the apron here. As the apron seems to play, I mean, this track kind of plays like Kansas, right? I mean, it's kind of a similar build.
Yeah, both 1.5 mile tracks. Vegas has a little bit more banking, I believe. Or whether it does or not, I'll have to double check and take a look at that. But it feels like it's got more banking regardless. And it feels like you can put that truck wherever you want. Obviously, at Kansas, you're typically going to be up there on the high side in the corners. But yeah, both tracks, 1.5 mile tri-ovals, and you can use that apron on the front stretch, as you see right there. Tupples going down there, utilize that to try and stay up there with Kevin Martin. But Gilroy leading the way right now. But I mean, you take a look at it, and from first all the way back to 10th place right now, covered by less than a second.
And I mean, that was in qualifying too. I mean, it was so tight in qualifying. I mean, Matthew Holliday will get second there, and just it was huge for him. Right, just to get 2 more points, just to get a little bit extra on the 12 with Tyler Bryan. I mean, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't by much.
Well, just in case you thought that Francisco Villarreal didn't have the speed after he qualified shotgun on the field, think again. He has moved himself up 16 positions so far. Currently now in 7th place on the outside of your pole sitter, Big Duke, and running the high side Hutzel line right there, all the way at the top, and it's working out very well. Looking to get up 17 positions, and he's going to do so at the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure he wasn't able to get a time in. I don't know if it was on purpose or.
No, he did get a time in, I think. It just wasn't a good one.
I've been there.
Battle for the lead again as Tupples now back to the inside of Scott Gilroy.
Here comes that Ford truck.
Indeed, here comes Tyler Helzel getting up in the mix. He is up 9 spots. Kevin Martin up 9 spots. Francisco, we mentioned, up 17 spots. James Wagoner is up 8 spots. A lot of big movers here in the race, even back in the pack. Funkhauser Jr. starting in 22nd. He's up 7 spots into 15th. So passing is certainly not at a premium here. It is all over the place. Big move there by the 4 of Helzel. He's going to go 3 wide again. And we've got the yellow flag.
Just as we were getting ready to get the green flag stops, I was just getting ready to mention that because we were at lap 20 there. What a break for some of these guys. Yeah, I'm not sure what the... on towards the back, but it's not registering anything. Oh, there it is. Austin Smith and is that
take a look at that one more time here. Looks like Austin Smith getting turned by, not sure if that's a 33 or actually it's the 33
and DeLaha
of Austin Smith turning Joshua DeLaha into the wall. And see the
he got loose coming out of 2 there and was trying to gather it and gathered it right into the right rear of the 11. Just the hot temperatures, slick tires, and no real estate there. I mean, just unfortunate that the 11 was right there at that time.
We had another incident here. This is slowing up to catch the field.
Oh.
This is Robert Knox getting sideways and into the outside wall.
Oh,
And then Austin Smith getting
33.
into him as he stops there as well. We'll get it back live here, and as you see, pit stops are well and underway here. And we'll take a look and see who wins the battle off of pit road as the entire field is in here. He says yes. Looks like he might have missed his pit stall, and he's got it stuck in no man's land. But look who decided to join the party already. Tyler Helzel winning the battle off of pit road. And he is going to be your new leader. Tuckles in second place. These guys are 1 and 2 in the regular season points as well. As Joe mentioned, 9 points separating Helzel and Tuckles. Kevin Martin in third. Francisco Villarreal in fourth. Gilroy back to fifth. Melton, Big Duke, Matthew Hott, James Wagner, Tyler Bryan for your top 10. So this is going to shake things up quite a bit. Now we'll see some new faces at the front. Will we see any kind of breakaway here, though, here tonight? I mean, it's going to be tough. These guys are on top of each other on speed.
Yeah, it seems like we've seen a couple cars, a couple trucks break away, but the draft was able to reel them back in. We've seen the 99 kind of extended out there just a little bit, but he was able to get reeled back in within a couple laps and packed back up with everybody. But we'll see if the 4 and 94 can maybe work together to maybe work and get out in front of these guys and play spoiler themselves, right? I mean,
well, fortunately for the 94, if he wants a chance at this regular season championship, he can't work with the 4. He's got to hope that 4 has a rough race, because now, you know, he got that bonus point for leading a lap. Well, now that's negated because now the 4's got a bonus point for leading a lap. So it's back once again to 9 points. You know, either one of these guys, I don't think they had any incidents. I mean, 94 brushed up a couple times, so maybe that clean race is out the window ready for him. But he's going to need basically a win and/or the clean race bonus to have a chance at catching Tyler Helzel for the regular season championship. So he's going to need to see that 4 have some issues or maybe get shuffled back in the pack a little bit. But shuffled back are our 2 guys right on the bubble. Matthew Hott back into 8th now. Tyler Bryan back into 10th. So these guys certainly have some work to do. Obviously, Matthew Hott probably more than content just being right where he is right now, keeping that 12 behind him. He knows if he keeps that 12 behind him regardless, he's looking at like a playoff contender here. But still 3 drivers in that top 10 that have yet to get a win, yet to lock themselves in, which means a win, and they are in. Ace Truck is in, and it's in the hands of Tyler Helzel to restart them. He's back on the loud pedal, and we are back to racing at LVMS.
The yellow flag is out.
Very quick right there, and I'm not sure if that was Big Duke or Robert Knox. I think it was Robert Knox. Not sure if that was a missed shift or what the case was. That thing just shot right to the left. Take a look at that one more time. Jump on board here. Yeah, you hear it get stuck in gear. Shoots him right to the left. Unfortunately, add insult to injury, it's going to be an unsafe entry into pit lane. So he's going to get a penalty for that on top of everything else. But it's going to bring us back under caution. You're on that lap number 24, and again, you look, forecast, and you try and figure out what's this race going to do. If this thing goes green from here, we're looking at possibly one more pit stop if you come in and top off here. So what do you do? I mean, do you give up some track position? I'm sure if you're in the second half of the field, you got to be smart here. You got to come in, but does anybody realize what's at play here?
And then you put yourself back there, and you put yourself in kind of harm's way. I mean, I'm sure you've been a victim of it. I've been a victim of it. You try to do this, you try to play the strategy move, and then you put yourself back there, and then all that does is you have more trucks and cars to kind of handle and deal with. So it is a risk, as we're back to 1 to go.
Yeah, it looks like
So if
a
you
risk
did
that
come to
nobody.
pit, you better get out there and get going.
Well, a risk that nobody wanted to take. Nobody came into the pits, so we are gonna not mess around here tonight. Looks like admins are keeping this thing rolling, and we're gonna get right back to green here. It's gonna be Tyler Helzel, Kevin Martin, Tuckles, Francisco Villarreal, Scott Gilroy, your top 5, Melton, Duke, Hot, Ryan, and Wagoner for your top 10. Man, it's
who do you think's could play spoiler here tonight? Do you think the 8 or 99? I mean, obviously they've shown some speed here, but
yeah,
you think we got a spoiler on hand here tonight?
Both of them have shown speed. I mean, James Wagoner, even in the 30, has been working his way through the field, up 6 spots after starting in 16th, and even Michael Funkhouse Jr. started second last in the field. He's now up just outside the top 10. He's in 12th place, up 10 spots on the night. So, again, it's a super speedway-esque type of race here. So, your fastest guys in the league don't necessarily have the advantage that they normally do on some other tracks. So, anybody can play spoiler here tonight, and you can see somebody come out of the woodwork for sure. But your championship leader and your regular season leader is at the front, most wins on the season. He's familiar with this spot. He is on the lap pedal and back racing at Las Vegas.
I forgot to mention that with qualifying, what did he get, third? Techness was third qualifying. He was able to get 1 point on Tyler, so. And I think Tyler does have it off track already, so his 5 bonus points is out the window.
Indeed.
But
Indeed,
the 94 is still in play, so I think if the 94 could win here tonight, I mean, obviously he would need Tyler just finishing the back half of the top 10 to maybe have a chance at it.
That's what I'm thinking. Outside the top 5, I think he may have a fighter's chance, but Kevin Martin is looking racy in that 69. He's not letting these guys go. And now Ituckle's going to the high side here, trying to get around Tyler Helzel. I don't think there's any love lost between these two, as you heard last week in some of the interviews. It's been some good hard battling, and sometimes maybe a little bit over the line for some of these guys. But it's Tuckles back to the lead here at Vegas.
Looks like these boys are starting to settle in here. Because we were getting a good long run there. We were just approaching the green flag pit stops, so. They all came down on lap 20, so.
Oh, you say that, and it is not content, and we've got some major incidents here, and it's involving a lot of our players. Matthew Hott involved in that one as well. And we'll see how that thing started. It looked like Kevin Martin possibly getting hooked by Tuckles. And several cars getting involved in this one.
And the 4 being out in front just was able to avoid it all.
See it here on the front stretch. Tuckles coming down and a big amount of netcode there, about a foot of netcode. They may have eventually made contact anyway, but you see the 69 into the wall, up and over. Of course, a horrible camera view. There's a good camera view for you right there. Watching the 69.
Yeah, it looked like the 94 came down to side draft the 94 came down to side draft the 69, and the 69 kind of stayed flat there through the tri-oval, and netcode came into play there, and yeah, that's how it started.
Take a look at it one more time. As you see, obviously Kevin Martin getting involved, but Tuckles also getting turned around. Right here, Scott Gilroy gets into the 99, but you see right there coming into play, the 12 gets a little bit of a brush. That could take away the 5 points from him. The 17 is sideways out of control. So neither of those drivers, and you see right here, the 17 getting tagged hard. That is Matthew Hott getting involved in the incident right there. And I don't think either of our bubble boys right now have the 5 points available. And what that could mean is Matthew Hott could be already locked in if nobody else from the outside wins. I mean, if he can't get those 5 bonus points, I think that's that's really where it comes down to.
Definitely got an off track there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You got an off track there, so we got some guys coming down pit road here. Your leader came down pit road. He's going to top off on fuel. We got Big Duke up in the lead now. And a lot of new players to the front too. Look at that. Look at your top 10 now.
Yeah, we take a look at their. Trying to see if I can bring that up.
Yeah, the 12 does show an off track.
Cannot find it here, but yeah, I mean, for your top 10, I mean, you got Big Duke start on the pole. He's back up at front right now. Joshua DeLaha up 4, Cody Brewer up 5, ZM Racing up 16, Austin Smith up 13, involved in an earlier incident. Robert Knox up 8, involved in a couple incidents. Joshua Laughlin up 12, he's in 7th. Riley Romeo is up 7, he's in 8th. Keith says yes, back up into the top 10 now after the pit road blunders earlier, and then Scott Boyer in the 10th. He's up 11 spots. So your top 10 was certainly not the top 10 to start this race, other than Big Duke and Keith says yes, pretty much. I mean, and the rest of the field has really gotten mixed up in this one. Ituckle's back in the pits, maybe topping off one more time, maybe getting it looks like a little bit more fuel. He's gonna be at the back of the pack, but how about our 2 guys again on the bubble? I think this all but eliminates Tyler Bryan. I think he's got to go for the win now. I mean, we can't tell for sure, but I'm pretty positive that that's going to be it for his 5-point chance. So now it's right now it's Matthew Hott's position. The only way he can miss the playoffs is if somebody else that has a black number right now gets a win. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Well, Big Duke has already got a win. He's already locked himself into the playoffs. He's got the lead. He had the pole here tonight. He's certainly fast in that number 78. Finally finds his way back up to the front. But we've got a lot of new players up here in this top 10. Pace truck lights are out, and they are making their left-hand turn in a pit lane. It's going to be up to Big Duke to get this thing fired back off.
Green flag, green flag.
Good restart here. A lot of new faces at the front. We'll see how this pack works at the front here now. A lot of new players, a lot of hungry guys.
Already 3 wide, going through the back here.
Now some of these guys have been patient, stayed in the back, waited for that big one to happen, and now it has, and now it's time to capitalize.
12
off the pace and
down on pit road.
Pit road, yeah. Oh man.
Not sure what is going on here with the 12, but he is into pit road. Not sure if that's a penalty or what the case is, but he is in, and this could really end his chances at the playoffs. Back up front is still Big Duke in the lead. Joshua DeLaha in second, but we've got a big incident.
76 is 1 involved.
The same 2 involved here again.
As that may be a blessing for the 12. I mean, if he had to serve a penalty here, I mean, what better way to use it than under caution? He's still in pit road right now. He's right now just 1 lap down. If he can just manage it at that and get another caution and get back on the lead lap. Let's see what happened here. The 76. Oh!
Makes a big left-hand turn down the track. Gets into the 1. Hard impact there for Cody Brewer into the wall. Luckily for everyone else, they were able to avoid the incident. Take a look at that one more time. On board at the 1. See how quickly it can go from real nice up there in the top 5 to just death to your truck.
Spin cycle.
And unfortunately, that truck is cooked. not start back up. That engine is blown. He had to tow it back to pit lane. Another round of pit stops here, and a lot of drivers coming in. So that's going to shake up the order one more time, and now Helzo back up to the lead. Francisco Villarreal, Maxwell Shade, Matthew Hott, Tuckles back to the top 5.
So all that black numbers that were up there, a guy who's trying to get back into the, or trying to get into the playoffs, all gone. Now you got all the gold and Matthew Hott back up there in the top 5. So all that gone. Some new players up front. Looks like Martin was able to get one of his laps back, so he's back to 3 laps down. Tyler Ryan's 1 lap down.
What's pretty interesting too is it happened right at the halfway point. You know, these guys racing for halfway money as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was still Big Duke in the lead at the halfway point when he came into the pits right there. So yeah, I mean some fortunate timing right there as it looked like they were really going to start doing some battling coming to the halfway point. But as it stands right now, we got 35 laps to go. It is Helzo, Villarreal, Shade, Hott, and Tuckles for your top 5. Wilson, Gilroy, ZM Racing, Delaha, and Smith for your top 10. But I mean, come back to me in 5 laps, and I'll tell you 10 different names. This thing has been shaken up and stirred up and all kinds of mixed up, and it's the last race of the regular season.
It's amazing how they're able to get. Can we get a look at this Wilson truck, this chrome truck? This thing is amazing how they're able to pull this off and have the reflection of whatever it sees, you know. And this, hey, look at that. That's just, how are they able to do that?
And I feel like it's been around for quite a bit right now, but it's still kind of fresh with the not the shading, but the spec mapping, where you can you know, make these trucks really shine, whether it's, you know, a certain color or in this case right here for Kyle Wilson, just a flat chrome paint scheme here. And yeah, it's a unique paint out there, and you're not going to miss it. There's literally nothing on the truck. It's maybe it's just a test truck for him out here, but you can't miss him.
No. He's got it working right now. He's up to 6, so let's see if he can't be spoiler here tonight.
Yeah, that would be quite a story. I'm not sure if we've seen Kyle Wilson out here in the series at all, so that would be certainly a way to enter the series and really throw a wrench in everything. Hey guys, nice to meet you, and I'll just go ahead and step myself into the playoffs. Well, we're going to double them back up here and try and get this thing off and running again. I mean, it's tough. This again, it's playing like a super speedway out here, and tensions are high. So I'm not surprised at the cautions out here tonight. I figured we'd have a few, but we are now just in the second half of this race, and there's still a ton to play for. As you got Tyler Helzo at the front, Tuckles is back up to 5th, so the regular season championship still up for grabs, still a chance for both to get into the mix here. But I feel like, at least for Tuckles, his 5 points are probably out the window. You know, coming in here with the bonus points for leading a lap, those are canceled out, but the bonus points for the qualifying may have the lead down to 8 at the moment here for Tyler Helzo. So it's, you know, one wrong move here towards the end of the race. If that 4 finds his way out of the top 10 and Tuckles finds his way towards that front, this thing could end on the final night of the regular season here before we start playoff racing. But we still got another 33 laps to go. At the line here, it's going to be 32, and it's a long way to go here in Vegas. Tyler Helzo back on the loud pedal, and we're racing again. Great jump from the 4. Kind of caught both lines sleeping there a little bit.
And we're just out of the fuel window, so and there ain't no way you're stretching it this far, but a big jump here from the 4. I mean, he's 4, 5, 6 truck lengths out of here. We'll see, these guys can't get going here, and wow, look at it. Tuckles already back up there.
Maxwell Shane into 2nd place. Tuckles battling with man that came from the back of the field, trying to complete the back to front here is Francisco Villarreal. Had it all the way up to second place there briefly into turn 1 and 2. I've yet to see him get all the way up to the top, but I mean, he is up 20 spots as it sits right now in third place. Tuckles, Scott Gilroy now back up into the mix as well. The 99 making a pass and moving himself back up into fourth.
And that 24, he's rocking that high side as he goes to the low side there, but he's on that high line. And yeah, the 99 getting himself back up here in the front, and he's got to win it, right? So get up here, get your nose dirty, and win this race. Get yourself into the playoffs. Get that 99 team in the top 10 for this 4 weeks of for championship.
Kohr back under green here, and before the action really starts amping up, let's go ahead and crank these boys of the YESCAR Truck Series up and get everyone out there and see Rand Nation a little bit here. action right back to you here, and it is a battle for the lead. Helzel on the outside, Maxwell Shade on the inside to give a slight edge to Helzel at the line with 20 laps to go in the regular season. Helzel is exactly where he wants to be and exactly where he's been multiple times of this season. Up there at the front looking for yet another win here on the season. He's already racked himself up quite a few. It's 4, I want to double check, actually 5 races here that he's won on the season. No other driver has won more than 2, as Tuckness has 2 wins here on the season, and then 4 other drivers with a single win. But Helzel's been the man to catch all regular season so far, but with all that being said, it's still a tight battle coming in here. And his partner that he is trying to deal with here and trying to put away for the regular season title is right there in 4th place. That is iTuckles Jonathan Tuckness, and he's got Bubble Boy right behind him, Matthew Hott, making a nice little comeback here. He's in the top 5, certainly in the catbird seat right now, and he likes the fact that everybody in front of him is already locked in. So he's okay right now where he's at, but you kind of get that feeling, you know, with him dancing around there, maybe looking for a way around iTuckles, that he's feeling like, you know what, let me just not let anybody spoil my race here in my season. We go up there and try and battle for a win, as he's trying to look for a way to get up there in the 4th place. But the 94 has been tough to pass all season. James Wagner right behind him has a good race going as well, up 10 spots up to 6th place right now. Big Duke, close hitter right behind him, doing a little battle right now with Austin Smith, who is also up 10 spots, and now 11 if he gets around Big Duke. Scott Gilroy back there in 9th place. A bit of a rough restart here, has him just in the back half of the top 10. Joshua Galaha involved in one of the earlier incidents, so it's a good bounce back for him to be up into the top 10 as well. But as it stands right now, we are 17 laps to go. It's going to be 16 here in a second. We've only got 15 guys on the lead lap, and we've got pit stops.
Yeah, I was just here to mention we should be getting pit stops here pretty soon. The pit window was going to be about 15 laps to go, so and also I was going to wonder how these guys are going to pit, if they're going to try to pit in pairs or pit in groups, but the 24 are coming down solo.
Well, and the short pit I feel like is going to play pretty big here. I mean, the best laps here for Tyler Helzel are in the low 31s, and he was out there last lap around a 32.36, so almost 1.25 seconds off pace right now compared to where they could be. So not surprised to see Helzel and Shade coming in right away on this next lap to kind of combat that short pit. But Matthew Hott, your Bubble Boy, now grabbing a point here. I mean, it's again, I don't think he's got to worry about points at this stage, but it just in case where our calculations are off, go ahead and lead a lap, and now he's going to bring that 17 in. And you got to be careful there with all those guys hungry right behind you. He brings it in now. iTuckles back to the point.
You see how the 4 and 2 come out as opposed to the 24. As I think that was a good move by the 4 and the 2 to come down pit road immediately. Like you said, the short pit is, the short pit is going to play dividends.
What would be interesting here is if anybody decides to go long here, and then maybe not take any tires or take only 2 tires, because that is certainly within the realm here. Only 14 laps left in this race. It could be a big gamble. It could be a gamble that gets you into the playoffs if you're one of these guys on the outside looking in. Tuckle's now into the pits, going to hand it over to Big Duke at the front, but you see right behind him Austin Smith, one of those guys that is on the outside looking in, and Joshua Galaha right behind him as well. The guys that are still out there, the top 4 right now, Big Duke, Austin Smith, Joshua Galaha, and Keith says yes, all pit on lap number 35. So they came in on one of the most recent cautions here. So that's why they're still out there running. Everybody else pit on lap number 31 or earlier. So they made their last pit stop.
Yeah, they should be able to go about 5 more laps, but the 33 is coming down now and getting his fuel. But yeah, to your point there, I mean, stretch this thing out and just get a couple gallons of fuel. I mean, I know they're already down on their fuel percentage, but you know, the less time you spend on pit road, the better. And if you can just come down and get slash and dash and go, rather than getting your 2 tires, I mean, maybe you're going to be a little bit slower on track, but that may not make of a difference if you're spending, you know, 5, 6, 7 seconds less on pit road.
They're now going to bring it into pit road, as is Delaha, and Keith says yes. So this is going to complete our pit cycle. We'll see how everything shakes out. Right now, Tyler Helsel is your leader after pit stop. But you see he's coming through turn number 2 onto the backstretch. Big Duke now coming into his pit stall. Looks like either way he's probably going to lose out the lead here. We'll see if he decides to take any tires in. There you see the right sides at least going up.
Tyler coming across the line right now.
And
so he's
the left side's going up as well. So Helsel is going to take over the lead once again. He's got Francisco Villarreal. Man, shotgun on the field to start this thing, trying to get to the lead for the first time today. It'll be one heck of a run here for the 24, but Helsel, you know, is very, very tough to get around once he's got that lead.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, got an opportunity here to get the regular season championship and then finish the regular season with 6 wins, winning half these races. 6 out of 12 it's pretty dominating, and then head into the playoffs here and give himself an opportunity here to win it as well. Because I think they get bonus points.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to carry bonus points in the playoffs for the wins,
So this, you know, give himself even more of a buffer, because even in a 4-lap or 4-race format, I mean, you can't have any mistakes at all.
No, and it's not like there's any kind of drop race or anything like that. As the 4 races combined, the best driver, most points out of those 4 races. So you need to lock in those 4. And as we mentioned before, it's 4 kind of unique tracks that we go to. Take a look at the schedule here for the playoffs, and it is going to start up next week with Michigan International Speedway. And you got Charlotte, Indianapolis, and Homestead. So all, you know, kind of bigger tracks, no short tracks involved in there, and nothing. Indianapolis is 2.5 miles, but it's not a super speedway. So this is kind of the last one. I guess you can look at Michigan next week. It's going to be wide open there at Michigan as well, but Michigan's so wide that you can run pretty wide, and they kind of not even realize it because it's so wide. I mean, you can run probably 5 wide there and really have some room to breathe. But we got to finish this one out first here. We still got a few laps remaining. 7 laps to go right now. Helsel looking for win number 6. Francisco Villarreal looking to go back to the front, or from the back to the front, and grab his second win on the season. Maxwell Shade right there in 3rd. Itaco's in 4th, still has hopes of the regular season championship, but they're starting to dwindle at this point. ZM Racing in 5th. Haven't really seen him up in the top 5 since his win, and showing some speed here before these playoffs start. It's you know, probably going to build a little confidence for him, a little bit of momentum, maybe going into the playoffs. Matthew Hott in 6th. Looks to be in line to make that last final spot in the playoffs. Big Duke in 7th. Scott Gilroy, James Wagoner, Alston Smith rounding out your top 10.
And Tyler Bryan just needed a caution here towards the end of this race, and doesn't look like he's going to get it to get himself back in contention to try to win this race and lock himself in. But yeah, Matthew Hott did what he had to do here tonight, right? I mean, just control what you can control, and you know, I think if he needed to push the envelope, he would have, but never really had to. And then now that I think if maybe word got to him that he was pretty much locked in without anybody else winning, that, you know, it's just kind of put in cruise control as he's going to move himself up to the top 5 there.
I mean, you know, kind of yes and no. I mean, he's out there kind of by himself right now. He's in his own little level right now. He's got ZM Racing behind him, but he can just kind of hang right here if he wants to. But there's still money on the line. I mean, these guys race for money every week, and every position needs a little bit more money. So right now, top 5 is going to get him a little bit of a payday. So I'm sure he's happy to finish on that note as well. But Big Duke running these guys down. Again, he pitted on lap number 59. He's got some of the fresher tires in the field So he's certainly got a chance to get up there and get himself a top 5 before this thing finishes. But it is all Tyler Helzel at the front. He started back there in 13th position, about halfway through the field. We've seen this before. We've seen a bit of a stumble in qualifying, finds his pace in the race, and checks out at one point. Remember, he's out to a 1-second lead right now over Francisco Villarreal. Maxwell Shade in 3rd place, but this time by, it's going to be 2 to go.
And I think the 24 is trying to push the envelope there, and I mean, like we talked about, getting bonus points. You know, Tyler's trying to add more, and the 24 was trying to get himself some more, so just to get some more for the playoffs. And it looks like he maybe just worn those tires off a little too much, and now the Ford's starting to stretch it out.
Battle for the top 5 here. Big Duke to the inside of Matthew Hott.
Yeah, look at these lap times. Big Duke's been the fastest truck on the track right now by 3-4 tenths a lap. So
the issue here, unfortunately for Keith says yes, showed up as a crash, but luckily was off the track. I thought we might have had some late race drama there to bring out a caution, but we are on the final lap of the race here. Tyler Helzel now out to a 1.5-second lead. Just looking for that final checkered flag here of the regular season. Is going to cap off one heck of a regular season here. As Joe mentioned, this is going to make it 6 wins here out of 12. Half the races, half the checkered flags, half the trophies so far going to the 4, and the regular season championship going there as well. Tyler Helzel, your winner here in Vegas. Francisco Villarreal going to come home in 2nd. Maxwell Shade bringing it home in 3rd. Ituckle is going to finish in 4th. Big Duke grabbing the top 5. By our calculations, it is going to be Matthew Hott. That is going to be your 10th and final playoff driver for next week. But this was a very, very interesting Vegas race. And certainly the second half of this race kind of calmed down a little bit. We had some green flag pit stops, but in the first half of the race, this thing looked far from over.
yeah, I mean, it was anybody's game, anybody's race there at the beginning, and a lot of shaking and a lot of moving, a lot of guys up at the front, a lot of guys going to the back, coming back to the front. So, I mean, at one point we had 8 of the top 10 that were winless on the season. So, but when it came down to money time, crunch time, you see right there, the top 5 have all won this season, and another win here for the 4. Can't say it enough. A dominating regular season, 6 out of 12 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there was any way for him to gain more momentum going into the playoffs, but now winning the last race of the regular season here, I mean, confidence has got to be at an all-time high for sure for the 4 year of Helzel. It's going to be really tough for anyone to compete with him, but everything is pretty much wiped clean going into the playoffs here, and all that good work that he's done so far is just about wiped clean, and he's going to have 4 really good races here to finish this thing off. It's certainly not just done and dusted and a gift for the playoff championships, but he does get the regular season championship, and that's a nice little payday as well. Take a look at our full results here from tonight's race. And again, it's going to be Tyler Helzel getting the win here by 1.5 seconds over Francisco Villarreal. Maxwell Shade, Ituckles, Big Duke, your top 5. Matthew Hott, James Wagoner, Scott Gilroy, Austin Smith, and ZM Racing finishing in the top 10. Joshua DeLaha, Kyle Wilson, Joshua Laughlin, Riley Romeo, Michael Funkhauser Jr. in the top 15. Scott Boyer, Tyler Bryan, Cody Brewer, Kevin Martin, Keith says yes, Robert Knox, Chris Melton, and Paul Lawson going to round out the field here tonight. Looks like only 22 cars started this race. I don't think Paul Lawson was involved in it here tonight. So, man, that is going to do it for Vegas here. We're going to go ahead and get these drivers up here for their interviews. And
I think we're waiting on Maxwell.
Yeah, looks like we just got word that Maxwell is not going to make the interviews here tonight. So we will go ahead and bring in our other drivers here, and we'll start with second place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be the 24 of Francisco Villarreal. And Francisco, you kind of threw everything at it there. You did everything that you could to try and get up there to Tyler Helsel at the end in that last run. And it looked like you may have had a shot right after those pit stops, but you slowly pulled away, and I'm guessing you kind of threw everything you had at him.
Yeah, I decided to come in a lap earlier to try and play the pit strategy game, and I would have been able to get in front of him after pits. What really put me in a bind was the fact that one of the drivers, he says he's gonna pit, but he's on the top line and cuts 3 lanes down entering pit road, causing me to check up. If not, I was gonna run him over. So that loss of momentum was just enough to get me stuck behind Tyler with the 30 air. So I was pushing, just trying to get around him, because I know dirty air here is absolutely killer. So my tires were just dead at the end of it. At that point, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold on to second and I'll be good here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that dirty air, because we rode on board with you there for a little bit when I think we were running in third, and it really seemed like coming off of 4 is where that thing just wanted to push like a dump truck coming off of there.
Oh yeah, 1 and 2 felt good. It was 3 and 4 that if you had dirty air, that thing was tight. I ran the high line a couple times to make some passes just for the clean air, and overall, I mean, even at qualifying, that's the reason I started so far back. During practice, 3 and 4 was, a little snug, but you would manage. But then qualifying came around and that thing just got tight. I started dead last, worked my way up, and then it was just a constant battle in 3 and 4.
Well, this marks the end of the regular season, so everything that you've done up to this point is pretty much wiped clean, and that goes for Tyler here. I mean, obviously, you had a dominating season so far, but you had yourself a win as well. What's going to take to kind of really turn this around and kind of fire the first shot across the bow of that number 4 and send a message to him for this playoff round here?
Well, next week is the first race is Michigan, and me and Michigan have not even a love-hate relationship, just a hate relationship. The racing there, I got a little bit of speed, but my luck there is non-existent. I was at like 5,800 IR, and that 1 week I dropped down to 4,700. So
does not bode well.
Just say, no, not one bit. So if I'm not able to do it next week, I'm gonna have to hold off. I won't be too upset as long as I could get maybe a top 5, top 3. But overall, it's just going to be a matter of trying to apply pressure and trying to get him to make a mistake to get around him, or qualify better and just hit my marks. Either one, I just got to be consistent.
Well, I think that's kind of the key word is consistent, because this is definitely a different type of playoff format. 4 races, all 4 races count. There's no drop races. You kind of need to be on your game for all 4 to have any kind of chance.
Oh yeah, and the good thing is 2 out of the 4 that are in 4 races are tracks I actually enjoy, and I've had the official weeks there, and I got a little practice already down. Miami being a big one, I loved it this past week. I actually got to race Tyler in one of the officials as well, so I already got some practice going with him in that sense. But it's gonna be a fun battle. It's gonna be fun because not only do you have me, Tyler, you got Tuckles in here, and honestly, this league's filled with wild cards. You never know what to expect each race.
No, I mean we've seen quite a few different winners. I know, Halza won half of these races, but nobody won more than 2 races other than Tuckle's the only one with multiple wins besides Tyler. So a lot of single wins out there, which means any race is kind of up for grabs. And just because there's only 10 guys in the playoffs here doesn't mean it's not going to still be a full field out here, and other guys are looking to take you down and get some cash in their pockets as well. So it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't sound like you're looking forward to the opener here at Michigan, but either way, a good finish here tonight, a good finish of the regular season, grabbing a second here. So congrats on that. Who do you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
As usual, shout out to you all for putting on the broadcast. Shout out to Duke for putting on this event and everybody that helps run it. as well as all the drivers, man. We come out here week in, week out. I joined late, but overall it's been a fun experience. Strategy wise, I haven't honestly, in all the leagues I've been a part of, I've never had a league where strategy has come such a big part of it in multiple races. So, you know, it's been a fun season. Looking forward to the playoffs. And shout out to P1 Racing. You know, they always got my back watching and everything. So shout out to them, and shout out to Tuckles and Michael. Great guys. But yeah.
Well, once again, congrats on a good regular season here. We're going to see you in the playoffs battling for that championship. But take some time to celebrate this top two, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That is your second place finish here tonight, the 24 of Francisco Villarreal. Top spot here tonight for the 6th time this season is going to be, make sure I grab the right person here, make sure it's going to be the 4 of Tyler Helsel.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey,
hey, man.
Yep.
Hey, you cap off an unbelievable, impressive, dominating. I mean, I can go on and on regular season here and snag your 6th win out of 12 races. It was kind of hectic at the first part of this race. It was kind of a lot of coming and going from a lot of these guys. How were you able to kind of manage that and stay away from some of that damage and come away with another win here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really too confident for tonight. I don't really too good at Vegas. I don't feel like. I was kind of just hoping to have like a good finish and stay in front of like a top 10 with a 0x is what I was hoping for, just to stay in the points lead. And I had a terrible qualifying run, so I lost some points there. It was the track just drastic. Like 3 and 4 just was completely different than it was practice prior, and my truck just decided not to turn, and I got like so tight. So we had to start from 13th, and I was kind of just being patient back there, making sure I stayed out of trouble. And like, yeah, I think it was, what was his number? 333 just came right down on me and kind of pushed me into the grass a little bit. So I got the 1X there, and then I thought I was going to lose some points there. But after that, I kind of started to drive my way up the field, especially when I realized we didn't have much laps on gas, so we could kind of burn out the tires. And I was going for second into the corner, and the caution came out, and I guess I didn't get it. I thought it was ahead, but iRacing it's not exact. But then the 99 was going like, 5 miles under and pit road, and I gained 4 spots from that. I passed Tuckness down pit road because he was stuck behind him, and I think I just had a better stop than the 99, and then whoever else was in front of me, and I got the lead. And from that, I mean, it was pretty much like I controlled the whole race basically. I had a little fights with some lagging, especially at the start of the race. I was lagging for like the whole pace lap, and then I blinked out at the front. That really scared me. Not really sure why that was, but it seemed to be fine for the rest of the race. And yeah, I kind of controlled the race from there. And when we came down for green flag stops, I kept the lead there. And after a couple laps, I think I ended up winning by like almost 2 seconds, probably like a second and a half, and that was it.
Yeah, we're talking to Francisco, and he came a lap earlier than you did, and when he got out there, somebody was in front of him and kind of pit in front of him and kind of slowed him up, and I think that's what kind of cost him the lead, he said. And you were able to come and down the next lap and was able to get out in front of him, and he tried maybe a late race charge at you, but it just wasn't quite enough. But I mean, you come away with another win here tonight, and we're heading into the playoffs, these next 4 races. I mean, I know the typical response is just keep doing what you've been doing, but I mean, is that going to be your mentality these next 4 races, or are you going to be trying to maybe more conservative? Because one race could, one bad finish and that could spell it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was really just focused on getting this done tonight. These last couple weeks, just making sure I had good finishes. Those finishes from Martinsville and then wherever else it was where I wrecked out was really bad. And
Daytona?
no, was it? Oh, Talladega, where I did the wrong gas strategy, and that just completely screwed me. And then I had that bad race at Martinsville, which I didn't even get to finish the race, and those really set me back a ton, and I was getting really nervous. But a lot of chaos at Richmond, but was able to get a really good finish. Won Texas. I think that really helped me a lot. But that Richmond race, I pulled through after thinking I was gonna wreck the whole race. But yeah, I think I want to be a little conservative, but definitely a little racy. I think exactly how I was tonight. Like, I was conservative through racing, but I was really aggressive when I was by myself. But just not making any dumb decisions. Is it 3 races or 4 races into the? Because I know Michigan's an all-star.
No, it's 4 races.
I think the All-Star race was supposed to be before Michigan. It looks a little funky on the calendar, but yeah, it is 4 races. Michigan is the first one.
Okay, so Michigan is not the All-Star race. All right, yeah. So I mean, I know everybody's together. Like, I was really worried. I almost got right hooked in this race once. I know that this track is gonna be a lot like that track. Everybody's close together. It's gonna be hard to get away from people. There was a couple right hooks tonight, which is why, because they were so close together at this track, you can't get away from nobody. And yeah, I'll just be conservative but racy when I'm by myself. And I know I'm really, I think Homestead's probably my best track, if not my second, third best track. So I'm really excited for that. And I've never really raced Indy before, and I've definitely never raced it on the truck. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
it's Charlotte. I think Charlotte. I'm pretty good at Charlotte too. So.
Yes, I mean, there's no real big tracks. I know Michigan's big and Indianapolis is big, but it's not really like a Daytona or Talladega. So, no real wild cards and no short tracks. So, some tracks that you guys can, have some room to move around and get racy. And then seems like, like you just said, the Homestead is a good track for you, and Francisco said it's a good track for him. So, a good track to have at the last of the playoff there, and so you guys can kind of show your guys' skill set and may the best man win. But you capped the season off with a win here, and we head to the playoffs. So congrats on the regular season championship. Congrats on the win here tonight. Anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, definitely you guys, everybody racing me clean. You guys especially, you guys do a great job in the booth. I always like to go back and look at how the broadcast went, and I know my dad watches sometimes, and you guys do a great job and showing everything, and I really thank you guys. And then Duke and Keith for putting all this money into this. I'm definitely really grateful for that. All this money that they're able to put in for us to just have a blast and go out and make some money. That's definitely so much fun. But yeah, going into the playoffs, I think my focus is getting that first for that 500, and I think if I don't get that, it's a disappointment with how my season's been going.
Right on. We'll see how everything starts next week at Michigan. We'll see you there.
All right, see you guys. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
That is your winner here tonight, and the winner in the regular season championship, the 4 of Tyler Helzel. Joe, we got one more interview that we're going to bring in here, as we didn't have Maxwell Shade out here tonight. So we'll go ahead and bring in our man that started on the bubble, the 17 of Matthew Hott. Matthew, it's over. You can finally breathe. You get yourself into the championship. I'm sure it's still technically unofficial, but at least by all of our calculations, you were in there. You were the 10th man. Doesn't matter if you're 10th or first. Either way, you're locked in. Are you finally breathing a little bit better now?
Oh yeah, I will relaxed finally after all of that. Came into it 11 points. I've really worked on qualifying this week and got up there to scrounge out any points I could get. And then I got a little contact with somebody there earlier. I have to go back and check. And then I got a 4X. So I was like, oh, there goes my 5 points for a clean race. Now I really got to lock in. And then we had the big one up there at the front, took everybody out. So I kind of leveled the playing field. I was keeping a nice little eye on Tyler Bryan there just to, try to manage the gap. But at the end of the day, got it done. Pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like once that big one happened, I didn't realize you had the 4X before that, but it looked like you most likely kind of lost your five bonus points right there. But Tyler Bryan also, I think in that same incident, might have lost his if he didn't lose it earlier than that. So that right there kind of just about locked you in. Well, it did lock you in on points at least, but you still had that that lingering that anybody that's not in there
Hmm.
can get out there and get that win. So I mean, was that in the back of your mind? Were you kind of maybe a little bit relieved on the last little run there that everybody in front of you was already locked in?
Yes, I was scrolling my black box up and checking that relative to make sure there's nobody up there. That's for sure.
Well, you get it done here. Again, you finish yourself in 10th place in the points heading into the playoffs. How do the playoffs look for you? I mean, what do you feel about the tracks? Do you think you can make a run at this thing?
I love Michigan, so we'll see how we can do there. I just got to put the work in and practice. And but yeah, anything can happen. I know there's a few people in front of me that don't have any wins, so we're kind of square going into this. And in the playoffs, I don't believe we have to worry about 0x points. So we're kind of just heads up racing here at Michigan. Got to see what we can do.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on making the playoffs here, and a nice run here tonight. Just missed out on the top 5, but either way, it was enough to get you in. So, give you a little time to give any shout outs or thanks that you may have.
Yeah, absolutely. I say thank you to you all. It's finally nice to talk to you two fine gentlemen instead of just hearing you back on the broadcast. A shout out to 9 West Motorsports, my buddy Max there in the league as well. But yeah, other than that, thanks to Big Duke for putting on this league. It's been a good season, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again, and we'll see you next week at Michigan.
All right, thank you.
That is your 6th place finisher here tonight, but more importantly, last man in for the playoffs. Our 10 drivers are set. We'll give a rundown of who they are, if I can find what I'm looking for. There we go. So your playoff drivers are going to be Tyler Helzel, 6 wins on the regular season, so he's going to carry a nice bit of bonus points into the playoffs. Jonathan Tuckness with 2 wins. Chris Gutierrez, Francisco Villarreal, David Duke, and Zach Mayhew all with a win. And Jeff Byers, Maxwell Shade, Christopher Melton, and the man we just talked to, Matthew Hott, are your 10 playoff drivers here for the YESCAR Truck Series. Going to be starting next week. Again, it's an interesting format, Joe. I don't think I've really seen it anywhere else that you have 4 races, all 4 of them count, and it's kind of all or nothing every week, and you need to have very, very consistent driving.
Yeah, I mean, with no drops, right? That makes it really interesting. Good for us, right? I mean, if that could spell some drama if something happens to Tyler or Techness or some of these other guys. So, man, it's a very unique situation for these guys to be put in, and you have to be locked in and all different tracks, right? I mean, nothing really the same, and we're not. I mean, this Vegas is similar to Charlotte a little bit, but Michigan is different than Charlotte, and then you go to Indy, and then we end at Homestead. So a lot of different tracks and different skills to be needed around all those tracks. So going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Can Tyler continue dominating? Can Tuckness show something that he hasn't shown yet? I mean, he's won a couple races and he's been fast every week. So can he crank it up just a little bit more? Can he find just a little bit more speed and get there with Tyler? Can one of these other guys, can Matthew Hott, come out of, can he be the 10th man in, but be the final man standing? So a lot to unfold as we start next week.
Yeah, I mean, we have, I guess, the closest thing to this format over in the Kohr Xfinity series that's broadcasted on Tuesday nights here on CRN, where the playoffs are going to be starting here in a couple weeks, and it's 4 races for the first round of the playoffs there, but they do get 1 drop race. So I mean, with tracks like Daytona and Bristol, in those playoff rounds over there, you kind of need a drop race in there because you're most likely not going to run 4 straight good races. But then after those 4 races is the championship race. So it's definitely a different format here in the YESCAR Truck Series, and it's going to take just 4 flat out good races, and consistency is going to be the main key. Wins are nice, but if you go, win 12th, probably not going to win the championship. You're going to have to tune in next week to see the first race of the playoffs here at Michigan for the YESCAR Truck Series. You'll see it right here on CRN. But for myself, Carl Hanwork, and Joe Sullivan here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we'll see you at the track.